Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This week it was reported that the Saudi rulers are allowing women to wear bikinis on beaches not more than 80 miles away from Makkah. Some are shocked at how rapidly things are changing in Saudi Arabia. But is it the case that Saudi Arabia has suddenly changed and turned its back on Islam? Let's take a look. This week it was reported that unmarried men and women can dress as they like and party listening to loud music on a beach in Jeddah not more than 80 miles away from Makkah. Some think that Saudi Arabia has turned its back on Islam, but the truth is Saudi Arabia was never based on Islam. Saudi Arabia wasn't corrupted overnight. It was corrupted from the onset when it sided with the British to fight against the Uthmani Khilafah and destroy the Islamic rule. That rule which was established by the Prophet ﷺ and existed continually until the last Uthmani Khalifa. Ending the rule of Islam was a far bigger crime than what they are doing today. So the Saudi state was illegitimate and corrupt from the onset. It was a reward from the British for siding with them and helping them to destroy and end the Islamic rule in Turkey. The state was given to them as a gift, and even the borders were defined by the British. For this, the newly appointed Saudi royals by the British were grateful to the British and subservient to them and to the Americans after them. This state wasn't created for the benefit of Islam or the Muslims. This state was created for the benefit of Western powers. When America asked Saudi Arabia to allow it to station its troops in the Holy Land in order to fight Iraq, the official state ulama issued a fatwa to say it was allowed. When the Americans said they wanted to launch an attack from Saudi Arabia into Iraq, again the state-sponsored Saudi ulama issued a fatwa to say it was permitted. And this is the kind of relationship the Western powers have with Saudi Arabia. When America demands oil production to be increased so that the price can come down, the Saudis oblige. And when America demands that the oil production be decreased in order to increase the price, the Saudi royals oblige. This is the relationship between the Western powers and the Saudi royals. The Saudis have spent billions upon billions of dollars, which doesn't belong to them, to buy Western arms, which they are never going to use against the enemies of the Muslims and Islam, but are done in order to keep the Western arms manufacturers in business. On May 20, 2017, the US President Donald Trump and Saudi Arabia's Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud signed a series of letters of intent for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to purchase arms from the United States totaling an eye-watering $110 billion immediately, and a further $350 billion over the next 10 years. With Britain, on the Al-Yamama deal alone, the Saudi have spent somewhere around £80 billion. What good has spending all this money brought? In 1979, when there was a siege in the Haram, the Saudis couldn't even get their own police force and their own armies to resolve the issue. They had to rely upon the French gendarmerie to come in and help them to remove the siege of Mecca. So they had to rely upon a non-Muslim army to free the most holiest sanctuary of Islam. To those who look beyond the superficial, they know from the onset that Saudi Arabia is a vassal state of Western powers. The only difference now is that even the lay people can see this because Saudi Arabia has dropped the pretense of being an Islamic state. Now that the West is moving to alternative energy sources, Saudi Arabia cannot rely upon oil as its main source of revenue. So they are now diversifying, and they will do anything and everything to bring in revenue. So they are opening up tourism, allowing non-Muslims to come and tour Saudi Arabia. They are opening up beaches where non-Muslims can come and party all night, listening to music and dressing how they like, because it's going to bring in more revenue for the state. The Saudis never cared for the Muslims or Islam. For one, they never established the Islamic political system. The fundamental right of the Ummah to appoint her ruler by giving the bay'ah was denied by the Saudi rulers. A fundamental right which the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ paid for by his life in order to uphold. They never established Islamic economics. The Saudi royals treated the oil as a personal private wealth, whereas in Islam it is mandated that it is a public resource for the benefit of the public. Their currency is linked to the US dollar, which again goes against Islam. And not only that, but the interbank lending rate is also based on riba. So Islamic politics wasn't established, Islamic economics wasn't established. And many of the ulama in Saudi Arabia are state funded. And they have been telling the people to ignore the rulers, ignore the politics, ignore the society, and just concentrate on yourself and fix yourself. And it is this mantra of concentrate on yourself and ignore politics which has brought us to where we are today. This reality exists today because we have neglected our duty of accounting those in authority. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.